really thought about, other than, oh, that would be cool, but yeah, like that's going to happen. That was about how much I thought about it. And when it did, it really kind of threw me for a loop. And and I'm honored, though. I am so honored, and I guess maybe this is the humbled side of it. I don't know. I'm still coming to terms with it.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful. I'm so grateful and excited, and it's made me set even bigger goals for myself.
Yeah, that's neat. Do you think it changes? I've often wondered and asked sometimes when someone has a hit song, it's kind of like, well, how do I write the next hit song? Has it influenced at all how you write since compared to how you wrote before?
I don't think so. I think it's influenced the business side of things than anything. I mean, when I sit down to write, it's still the same thing. Like I want to write a song that I believe in, that I can stand behind, that I'm excited about, whether it's a song that I feel I can sing myself or a song that I hear another artist doing.
Right.
I still have to believe in it. And so I still write that way. But on the business side of things, definitely changed things. It's upped the game and made me think about, like, how can we better strategize to go where we want to go. Where do we want to go?
Sure.
What do we want to do with this now?
And
and where can we go?
Right.
And how do we make this happen?
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. And you mentioned...
Which in part takes away, like, all the time that's spent on that takes away from the creating. So that's been a hard thing to balance. Especially with throwing into the mix that I'm a mom of a little kid who needs me. So just trying to keep all the plates spinning and make sure I get that time in practicing and on the different instruments that I play, but also that time creating. I get twitchy when I go too long without writing. Because it's just something I love to do, and it's my therapy.
Yeah, I was thinking that before you said it. That a lot of people will say that songwriting is a therapy process. So that's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It's how I interpret the world, how I deal with the world, how I escape from the world.
That's cool. A few minutes ago, you mentioned your band, and we certainly want to give them a quick shout out. Tell me, give me your lineup, and let's include those guys in our conversation.
Sure. I've got Ned Luberecki on the banjo. He's a legend within our community. He's been
Bluegrass XM, Bluegrass
band.
Yeah, Bluegrass Junction.
For over 30 years playing in different bands, including Chris Jones and the Night Drivers, Paul Atkins and the Borderline Band that Rarely Heard. And then he's also a wonderful DJ. He's on Sirius XM's Bluegrass Junction channel, and wrote a bluegrass banjo curriculum for Alfred Publishing. Has a new album out called Take 5.
Cool
and
album.
A 2017 nominee for IBMA Banjo Player of the Year. So we've been saying, because of Ned and the self-deprecating humor, we've been saying he's the second best banjo player of 2017.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then we've got Professor Dan Boner on the mandolin. I'm sorry, man. He played mandolin on the new album, but now he's been playing guitar for the last year or so.
Okay. And
he plays everything really well. He pushes me to be a better fiddle player. Like, he inspires me so much with his fiddle playing. Great singer, great educator. I believe it was 2015 he was a nominee for IBMA Mentor of the Year.
Neat. Okay.
And he's the director of the East Tennessee State University Bluegrass Old Time and Country Music Program.
All right. Yeah, I thought I recognized his name for that. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So his freshman year at ETSU was my senior year. And I graduated and left, and he just stayed.
That's cool.
He just stayed, and they made him the head of the program. But the program is really thriving.
Yeah.
And I think they have 70 bands right now.
Wow.
Or did this last semester.
Wow.
It's really, really exciting times out there.
That is so cool.
For roots music.
Sure. Yeah. What a contribution to the industry, just by itself. Yeah. That's so cool.
Then we've got Nate Lee on the mandolin and fiddle and singing the high tenor line with me. He's from Ovilla, Texas, now makes his home in Nashville, Tennessee. And he teaches a lot. He's got a big private lesson studio, and just it does a lot of online lessons. All of us actually teach at workshops and camps throughout the year. So you can maybe talk about some of those that I'll be involved in. But Nate has a new album called Plays Well with Others, and he's a 2015 IBMA Momentum Award winner.
Cool. And then you've got Dwayne Anderson, right?
Dwayne Anderson. So we've been calling him Calamity Dwayne because we have this song on the new record called Calamity Jane. And the big line of the song is, Jane ain't even your name, Jane.
Oh, no.
And Dwayne ain't even, Dwayne ain't even his name. That's actually his middle name. His first name is Bobby.
Oh.
So we've been saying, Dwayne ain't even your name, Dwayne. And,
yeah, that's funny.
Dwayne is a programmer and IT guy for King University in Bristol, Virginia. And he and I played together with Darren and Brooke Aldridge for a couple seasons. He's a great picker. He's an ETSU graduate, and I'm just honored that he would join our band here at the top of this year.
Yeah, that's so neat. And then the new record is Crepe Paper Heart. Crepe Paper Heart. And
Crepe Paper Heart.
Yeah, Crepe Paper Heart. And that's what number for you? You mentioned you had a few when you were with the other folks.
Yeah, it's my fourth solo album, and it's my second release for Dark Shadow Recording. And
that is out or is ready to come out? When is it released?
It came out February 14th.
Okay, so it's currently out.
With a name like that, it needed to be released on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, okay, for sure. So tell me a little bit about that before we wrap things up.
All right. It's all original songs except for the bonus track, Phoenix Arise. And that was a special project that happened in between my albums. We recorded that song as a fundraiser for the town of Medelia, Minnesota. There's a big fire in their downtown district that took out an entire city block of businesses. And that's in my home county of Watonwan County, Minnesota, and it's also where my dad works. Mm-hmm. So we recorded that track and then put it up as a digital download for a donation of any amount to help in the rebuild effort. And happy to say that they've all rebuilt and they're back open for business. So
that's neat. Cool.
If folks out there traveling through southern Minnesota, you got to stop at La Plaza Fiesta and have lunch or supper and do some shopping there in Medelia, Minnesota. But we included that as the bonus track on the album, and the rest are songs that I've written or co-written. Calamity Jane that I mentioned a minute ago is on this album. I got to sing that with Rhonda Vincent, the queen of bluegrass music.
That's awesome. Yeah, cool.
Love her. She's amazing and such a great businesswoman, such a fabulous entertainer, and she's also been a mentor to me. She's been so kind. I've gone through her several times with industry questions, and she's been really kind and thoughtful in her answers.
Yeah. I love that about the bluegrass world.
Yes, yeah. Everybody's pretty willing to help other people out, especially folks that are coming up in the music. So, and I actually wrote that song, Calamity Jane, with Tim Stafford of Blue Highway, one of my very favorite bands. And then we've got Frank Sullivan as a special guest with us on Bitter Springs, The Big Trees, which is probably my favorite song on the collection right now, just because it's kind of where I'm at on things, just kind of in a time of waiting. Yeah. And which is not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
And then we've got the Grammy-winning Fairfield 4 with me on Written in the Back of the Book. But let's see, I mentioned 2 gospel songs. It's not all gospel. It's a mix of secular and sacred songs. And kick it off with another Love Gone Wrong. It's a very promising title. And most of the heavy lifting on this record has been done by my band. And I would put them up against any studio musician out there. They are just fantastic musicians.
That's neat.
There's a couple guys on there that are no longer in the band. Brandon Bostic on guitar, and Daniel Harden on the bass.
Okay.
I'm especially excited that on the instrumental Care Paravel that Daniel Harden did the bass track on that. And, I wrote that song a long time ago when he and I were touring together, and he just always loved it. And I'm really excited that he was the one that got to put the bass track down on
That's
that.
neat.
He really smashes the bass on that. And then Claire Lynch is also a special guest. Rob Ikes, Sam Bush. I got to do a duet with Sam Bush. Just him and I, me playing Klahmer banjo, him playing Haas and the mandolin, and singing together on a song that I wrote with my friend Tony Rackley from down in South Carolina. And let's see, that song's called The Rebel in the Rose. And I'm missing some guests. Stephen and Yana Mogen are on there with me. And I'm missing somebody, but I can't think who it is right now. But just a whole bunch of guests that are just heroes of mine.
Yeah, that's
such
neat.
an honor to get to work with them.
Well, we certainly want folks to hear it, and we want them, if they haven't, certainly to track it down and get a copy of it. What's the best place, and how can they track you down if they want to maybe hire you as a teacher, or just say hey or get some advice? What's the best way to communicate with you and get your music?
Best way is to go to BeckyBuller.com, and Buller is spelled just like it sounds, B as in boy, ULLER, BeckyBuller.com, and you can find out where we're going to be, read more about us, check out the lesson schedule, the touring schedule. Can I mention a couple of the things we have coming up?
Yeah, please do.
We're going to be at the Graves Mountain Festival of Music in Syria, Virginia on June 2nd, and then we drop down to Dollywood for their Barbecue and Bluegrass Festival on Monday, June 4th. Then you can find us at the Jesus Tent at Bonnaroo.
Cool.
I believe that's June 10th. It's the Sunday of that weekend. We're going to play for the church service, very informal church service at the Jesus Tent. Some really, really cool things at First Baptist Church here in Manchester heads up. But people come from all over the U.S. to volunteer there and to hang out. It's a really, really cool thing. And then I head to Kaufman Camp along with most of my band. Everybody except Dwayne is teaching at Kaufman Camp this year, and that's in Marysville, Tennessee. I think it starts on Father's Day. What is that this year? June. It's in the 20s of June. Anyway, it's all on my website. Please check it out. And then I'll also be headed to Levelland, Texas for Camp Bluegrass and going right to Rocky Grass Academy in Lyons, Colorado after that.
Wow,
and,
cool.
I'll be doing a show with all the first ladies to win in their respective instrumental categories at IBMA. So that's Allison Brown on the banjo, Sierra Hull on mandolin, Molly Tuttle on guitar, Missy Raines on bass, and myself. We're going to be doing a set at Rocky Grass, and that's already sold out. So if you don't have your tickets, you're out of luck.
Oh no, that sounds neat.
And then we go to Milan, Michigan, and then the Station Inn there that first weekend of August. And I'll do one more, and then I'll let you be. But we're going to head back to Minnesota. I'm so excited to be playing for my home state crowd at the Minnesota Bluegrass Old Time Music Association's August Festival at El Rancho Manana in Richmond, Minnesota. Going to be a lot of fun. They always put on a really good show.
Cool. Well, in case they didn't write it down, they can find all of that at BeckyBuller.com. And
that's right. You can connect to us on all our social media pages via our website too.
Cool. Thanks, Becky. Appreciate it. This has been great talking to you.
Oh, Greg, thank you so much for having me on the program. I really appreciate it.
Thanks again for tuning in to this episode of Americana Music Profiles. Find us on iTunes at Americana Music Profiles and on the internet at AmericanaRhythm.com.